Hey guys, Dude I'm Marine here with another video. This one I wanted to talk about one of my worst days in the Corps. Not the worst, but one of them. We were out in the field and we've been training. We're in 29 Palms, so we weren't getting shot at or anything, which is always nice. And we were, I can't remember what they called the op, but we were out there and we were shooting for the infantry, and they were essentially rushing forward, attacking their targets, getting in tracks, driving forward, getting out, attacking again, and doing that over and over. And as they progressed downrange, we had to pick up our howitzers and move downrange to keep them within range of our howitzers. And so what we had to do is, once they gave the all clear for us to move, we had 30 minutes to pick up our trucks, get all our gear up, all our ammo, get the howitzer attached to the truck, and then get in formation, not like standing formation, but formation for the trucks, and then drive down to the next position, which was a couple miles down the road, and then set up the trucks, or not the trucks, set up the howitzers, and have a round downrange hitting its target within 30 minutes. And it was just an insanely tight time limit. It was rough. And not to mention that it was easily over 100 degrees. I want to say the average for those, we were out there for a week doing this, the average was like 105, and it was just rough. And at night it didn't even cool down. Like, it was still in the 80s and 90s at night. It just sucked. And we were dead beat. We freaking didn't have any cold water. We're drinking this freaking piss warm water. Sometimes it was hotter than that, and we were just hating life. But towards the end of it, we made, essentially, it was supposed to be our final move downrange. And during that 30 minutes, the reason why it was 30 minutes is because that was the time that they guesstimated their mortars could handle keeping up a level of fire that protected their troops before their tubes started to go red hot and started to melt. So they had 30 minutes of continuous fire before they were out of the game. So this last move, we picked up, we'd gotten into a decent routine. By this point, though, we were all dead tired. I was dead tired. I wasn't even doing a lot of the lifting, just because as a section chief you don't. You can, and we ended up doing a lot of it, especially after this move. But generally, your focus is on making sure the howitzer and everything in it is safe, and that you're shooting safely and all that stuff. So even though I wasn't doing a lot of the physical labor, I was still tired. And we get down range, and we set up, and we start shooting, and my guys just started dropping for started dropping due to heat. They had a lot of heat issues, and we had a lot of heat issues. Like, literally, my gun was like 8 or 9 guys plus me, and by the end of the day, it was me and one other Marine. One little dude, and he's a little freaking midget man. He's 5 feet tall, weighs like 100 pounds. And it was just the two of us. But as these guys start dropping, my powder man, which is the number 3 man, they are the ones that bring the charge up to you. They get it ready, they prepare it. If you need different size charges, depending on what you get told you need to shoot, they're the ones that prepare it, and they bring it up to you. And he's really good at his job. He was quick. I didn't ever have to call on him for anything. Never had any issues. And this time, we were getting a mission. We were shooting fast. Like our guns, I started getting worried. Like, I didn't want to shoot the howitzers because they were getting so hot. They were overheating. And we were getting into the very, very dangerous levels of how hot you can let it get. Because if it gets too hot, you run the risk of the powder igniting and the round going off, or even the round itself going off in the tube, if it's too hot inside the tube. And we were reaching that point. And, like, my buddy, who ended up being the other guy with me, At the end, he was getting burns all over his hands and lower arms because he swabbed the tube to clean out any sparks and stuff that might be in there, so it doesn't prematurely set off the next charge you put in. And he was getting burns, like the water was evaporating before it even got into the tube. It was that hot. Like it was like in the hundreds of degrees, right at the edge of the tube. And so all of a sudden we're getting another mission. It was like a 20-round mission. We're like halfway through it, and my powder man didn't show up. I'm sorry for coughing. I don't know what's going on here. Have a drink, see if that helps. All of a sudden he wasn't there, and I start calling out for him. I'm like, dude, where the fuck are you? We gotta go. And nothing. He's just not coming around the corner, because he has little things set up on the other side of the trailer where he was working in. And so I go over there because he's just not coming up, and he's face down in the dirt, like not breathing. And so I call for a corpsman. We roll him over, and the doc gets up and is able to get his breathing going. He takes his temperature, and his temperature is like, oh man, it was very high. Like it was like, I want to say it was like 110, some sort of ridiculously high number. And he was going into heat stroke. And we were so far out of the training area that if he would have had to drive back, it would have been like a 3-hour drive, just because the roads are so shitty and trying to get the right route. Maybe quicker, but most likely not. We were just so far out there, and we had nothing to cool him down with. And if that would have happened, he would have died. There's no. The doc said that he would have been done. But he gets the doc over, and he gets our CO down there, and our CO brought his. He had like a chest cooler. Everyone always brought their own coolers, but his still had a small amount of ice in it, and so we opened it up and we stripped our bud down, completely naked, dumped him in the freaking in the water, and to try to cool him down because he was just way overheating, and then we, luckily for him, there was air on station. They were kind of in the area doing some sort of training, a couple of Chinooks, and our CO requested that they come and pick him up, and they said, hey, have somebody set up a landing zone. Let's do this. And so he sent a couple Marines to go set up their landing area, and then we grabbed Curtis. Yeah, his name's Curtis. Put him in the back of the truck and brought him back in one of the Humvees, and we just hauled ass across the thing. We put him about 500 meters away from our position, and the bird landed with the other one circling, and picked him up, put him in, and explained what was going on, and they needed to get him back to the hospital. And our doc stayed with him, and they took him back, and he ended up being okay. They said that he was like, his body was done. Like, he was so dehydrated. His doc, like when we were trying to cool him down, the corpsman was trying to get a needle in to get an IV, and he couldn't get it. Like his veins were just so, withdrawn from no water, no moisture, nothing, that he just couldn't get it. And this guy could get a needle, freaking, no matter what. And he was just good. And so the docs there back at the base said that he, at main side, said that he was lucky we got the helo there, because he'd have been screwed otherwise. It was weird though, because after that he ended up recovering, but for a good while after that, like we came back that day, and we came back that day, we cleaned up the howitzers, and everyone went on their time off for the weekend. And the next morning, a buddy of mine, is the next morning or 2 days? I don't know. My roommate and I were going to go to chow in the morning, and we got up, and we had known this guy for years at this point. And he, he was on my gun, and so of course he knew me. And we were walking down the hallway in the barracks, and stumbles out of his room, and he's just in his boxers, and we're like, hey man, you all right? And he looked at us and he goes, hey, how are you? And he came up and he introduced himself, and he's like, what's your name? And he, shaking our hands and stuff. Like, his mind was so, like, fried from the heat that he didn't know who we were, even though I was his section chief. So he took him back up, and they ended up keeping him up there for again because his body like started to naturally heat up again, which I didn't know it could do that, but it did. And so they kept him again, and he had issues for a while. Like, he couldn't like just do basic stuff. He didn't know how to get a cup of water. He couldn't like tie his boots. Just weird stuff. And like it was just weird because he was a really smart guy, and so just seeing him kind of reduce to that because of the heat, because he had just pushed himself so hard, was crazy. And then, he finished out his time in the Marines, and then he ended up dying in Hollywood. He got hit by a car. And we've actually lost quite a few of our Marines since we got out, which fucking sucks dick. But yeah, it was just weird. It was a pretty rough day, seeing him down like that, and then, all the other Marines were down. Like, the guys were literally puking on my gun because the heat was just destroying him. They just knocked him down. He couldn't get up. Just very, very sick. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been like really, really dehydrated, but it is terrible. You just feel miserable. And like, it was literally the whole gun. It was literally just myself and my other bud, and we were freaking manning it up, just going to town. Working the whole gun, just the two of us. It was pretty crazy. And we were actually pretty fast, too. We got 2 rounds out a minute, which wasn't too shabby, considering that generally our max is supposed to be 4 a minute. So once every 15 seconds. We were doing it every 30 seconds. So, yeah, we're pretty amazing, I know. But I would classify that as probably being one of the worst days. Just, like, it wasn't really stressful. Like, it's, like, for me, stuff doesn't stress me out. The world can be ending and I'll be fine. Like, it's just how I'm built, I guess. But just seeing seeing your friend down like that, knowing that he very well could die, and before we found out the birds were coming, we thought he was screwed no matter what. And even then, once we knew the birds were en route, we were still concerned that he wasn't going to make it. And so, it's a stressful thing, and it sucks just having to worry about that. Yeah, I have some other ones that I may talk about in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm sure all Marines have those sort of stories, that they can talk about. But for me, that was a pretty shitty day. And any of the guys that you asked that were there, they can definitely testify to how much that sucked, because it was not fun. It was not fun. But all right, guys, I'm gonna bust some stuff out here. Oh man, and I will see you guys next time. Semper Fi.